As I was understanding, the purpose of the rail trail is to create a sense of place as one travels around the city of Albuquerque by foot or by bike. And I was trying to think about in these small European cities, what is it that really creates a sense of space and a sense of place? And one of the things that always seem to occur in these small cities is they always have a town clock. And so I was thinking I would make a clock. And it would be, first I was going to call it Albuquerque Cuckoo, but that sounded kind of stupid. So I thought I would be a little more edgy and I would call it Harbinger, because a harbinger is something that tells the future. And this gives a little bit of insight into what might be the future as well. Let me see, I have to go down here. So a little bit about me. If you don't know, I developed a technique many years ago of using explosives to make sculpture in metal, which is a technique that you can't make these things any other way. And I've made over 40 public art pieces and all around the world, and have been featured on all kinds of television and stuff. But this past 10 weeks, I have struggled more with this project and with what I've been doing here than I have with any of my projects, even my most difficult ones, and this chair is going to fall over. Yeah, so that is, well, I could stand up like everybody else does, but then I can't hide. Okay, so where's so I've made pieces that worked before, but I've always made them in a mechanical way, pencil, paper, you draw out the plans, you build it. But for this course, I had to learn a whole new language and a whole amazing thing that just words can make things work. Now that is really something. And so I've been trying to learn this new language. And so this is the way I started to think about this clock. I decided to put a bird inside of a box, sort of abstract bird. The first box I made was just a wooden box, and I covered it with hieroglyphics because that's another strange, mystical kind of language. And in this process, I tried to work out all of the ways that this thing would work to solve the problems of it working. And but then when I went to make the big project, I decided I wasn't going to put hieroglyphics on the box, but I was going to put code, because the code is a secret language like hieroglyphics to most people. So then I went home to my studio to build the box, and I built it out of metal because that's what I'm used to working with. And that caused a few problems, because when I started to put the electronics on the metal, there was a lot of interaction between the electronics and the metal. So I had to put everything on pads to get it off the metal because I wanted to mount everything on the box. And so that caused some problems, but it works. Here it's working. And here it goes. So this is the final box, or the prototype box. The box starts to open. And it has a clock. Eventually, it'll be timed with the clock, the opening of the door. So the door will open at a certain hour, like once an hour, or once every half an hour, whatever that's determined. There are lights inside the box. The lights go on as the door starts to open. There's a sensor. It tells the lights to go on when the door is opening. The door opens. I have it very slow because you want to anticipate what's going to happen. You know, something is going to happen. The door is opening. And then we have this bird, half bird. The bird comes out on his little slide. In a bigger piece, he'll come out a little further, but this is as far as he comes now. He comes in, and he goes back in. The door starts to close. And if this would be an outside piece, there would also be sensors on the box that would tell if it was raining, if it was windy, so that it wouldn't open if it was rainy or windy or any of those things happening in nature that would disturb it. And you see that the code is all around the box. I don't know if that would be good for but for this purpose, it really works. And you see that these are all the things that are included that I used, all the things that I used in making the box. The final box would be on a pole. I just put it on a small pole, but it would have to be about 10 feet tall or 8 feet tall, so people couldn't touch it or bother it, and probably all the electronics would come down through the pole and come out somewhere in the bottom, and there would be a little locked box or something for maintenance purposes. And probably you would want to have printed circuits rather than all those wires. So when I looked at the pictures of what they were anticipating on the rail trail, I saw that the rail trail actually goes right by the transportation hub and the main station for the Roadrunner. And when I looked further at that, which is actually right around the corner from here, it turns out that they actually have a clock. And but it's not very impressive clock. And so I was thinking, look at, on this clock tower, there are all these incredible niches which serve no purpose. They're completely blind. I guess they're decorative, but you know, they're not, you can't walk up there and look out and see the city. So what would it be like if in all those niches there were birds and that the birds came out of the niches, and the niches actually go all the way around the tower. So you could have all different kinds of birds and they could all come out in sequence and they could sing or make noise or whatever. And you would, I guess, have to have a Roadrunner in there too. But that could be something that would be really exciting to do. Now, it's also very expensive. And so whether that would be feasible or not, but it's an idea I would love to make. And so that's it. This is my contact information. And everybody has to thank Brian and EJ, but I particularly have to thank them because I can be really annoying. And everybody was so helpful to me and the other students in the class also. And I also want to thank the city of Albuquerque for giving me this really great opportunity.